Everybody loves to ride fast, and almost anyone can ride a motorcycle fast. As a matter of fact, most of the things that we do on a motorcycle get easier with more speed. But if your intent is to ride a big adventure motorcycle off-road, there are going to be times that you have to ride slowly, and you have to know how. Welcome to Moto Trek. I'm Rob Day, adventure touring instructor, and I love to ride fast. Whether I'm on the trail or on the highway, it's exhilarating. You probably like it too. It's one of the reasons we all ride motorcycles. But riding fast is easy, especially compared to riding slow. And I'm here to tell you that practicing slow speed maneuvers is going to make you a better rider at any speed. I'm not here to tell you that you should be riding slow everywhere. Where's the fun in that? What I am saying is that by practicing slow speed skills, you're going to understand your motorcycle better, how the weight affects the way you're riding, how your clutch works, all of your controls and your coordination, your balance and your vision. These things all get better by practicing slow speed skills. At slower speeds, the bike is going to feel much heavier. Your throttle will also feel much more abrupt, and you'll have a tendency to look straight down at the ground in front of you. These are all problems that we can solve with slow speed training. The most important part of learning to ride slowly is learning to use your clutch. You have to understand the friction zone of your clutch because we're going to be in and out of it quite a bit. You cannot ride slowly with the clutch all the way out, even at idle speed. You'll be going too fast and you won't have any control of your motorcycle. So learning that friction zone, which is different on every motorcycle, is the most important part of learning to ride slowly. The friction zone of your clutch is an area of lever travel that is not fully out and not fully in. It's somewhere in between. The clutch is slipping at this point, and this is a fine control that allows you to deliver just the amount of power you think you need to ride slowly. So how do I know where my clutch friction zone is? Here's one easy way that'll help you identify what your friction zone is. Find a gentle slope somewhere. Doesn't have to be dirt, it can be pavement. Get off your bike, get it started and running in gear, and then slowly ease the clutch out until the bike begins to move uphill. Only go a few feet, and then hold it there using only the clutch. No brakes, no throttle, nothing else. By holding the motorcycle in place on a slope with nothing but the clutch, you've identified the very center of your clutch friction zone. The friction zone is different for every motorcycle. It can even be different on two identical motorcycles. You need to know exactly where yours is and build a muscle memory so that you know exactly where your friction zone is. Getting the amount of pull from your motorcycle that you want is what tells you that you're properly using your friction zone. A motorcycle needs two things to turn. It needs a steering input and it needs to lean. You can't make a turn on a motorcycle without both of those things. At slow speed, if I simply leaned the motorcycle and stayed right over it, I'd just fall over. If I tried to make a turn and kept the bike upright, it's going to be a really, really wide turn because the bike isn't leaning. So we're going to lean the bike and we're going to get our body to the outside. This is called counterbalancing. We only have our body weight to influence the balance of this motorcycle. We don't weigh 600 pounds like the bike does, so we have to get our body way to the outside of our turn. We're using our body weight to stay in balance because we have to push this motorcycle down into a lean. Our inside arm is straightened out, our outside arm elbow bent. We turn our head. We get our body way out here. We don't want any of our torso to be directly over the center line of the motorcycle. By shifting our body weight to the outside of the turn, this allows us to stay in balance even in a slow speed turn. To stay connected with the motorcycle, we use the back of our inside knee against the seat or the tank, and we use our outside knee to push against the tank to help push the bike into a lean. All of this happens while we still have a light touch on the bars. We're not death gripping the bars here. If you're having difficulty getting into this position, sometimes it's helpful to simply lift up your outside foot, point it at the motorcycle, and put it back down on the foot peg. This places your knee naturally right against the gas tank and helps you push the bike down into a lean. Another advantage to this counterbalance position is that we're placing our body weight directly over where the tires touch the ground. So we're maximizing traction using our body weight. This will help keep us from washing out the tires in these slow speed turns. So another thing that you need to understand when you're in this counterbalance position is that you've got to rotate your torso pointing in the direction you want to go. It'll make everything easier. Your adventure motorcycle is going to behave differently when there's a lot of weight on the back. When you have camping gear, for example, you're loaded up. So my advice to you is to practice counterbalancing both ways, loaded and unloaded. Along with smooth clutch control, we also need smooth throttle control. This is very important. We don't want to wind the engine up to the point where it might cause excessive clutch wear, but we also don't want to have a low enough throttle setting that we could stall the motorcycle. If you're in a counterbalance turn at slow speed and the motorcycle stalls, it'll fall over immediately. So keep the RPMs up just to the point that you need it. We want that throttle to be happy, but not angry. Vision is important for everything that we do on a motorcycle. The bike will go where we're looking. When you're making these slow speed counterbalance turns, it's important to turn your head. So pick an imaginary point that you think the bike is going to pivot around and look in that direction. Not at the ground, but just in that direction. The more you turn your head, the tighter your turn will be. Don't look at the ground. You'll be tempted to look at the terrain in front of your tire because you're worried about where it's going. Don't worry about that. The tire's going to be fine. When your eyes are up towards the horizon, you have an automatic fixed frame of reference, and whenever the bike gets a little bit out of balance, your body will automatically adjust and stay in balance. You won't even think about it. But when you're looking down at the ground, you've lost that fixed frame of reference, and this bike might have already tipped past the point of no return before you realize it, and down you go. It's also important to keep a light touch on the handlebars. You don't want to death grip this thing. To do that, we have to be in a neutral body position. So at some point, hypothetically, we could simply take our hands off the bars and we're still in our correct position. I'm controlling the motorcycle at this point with my feet and my knees. It's important to maintain your momentum during these slow speed maneuvers. That doesn't mean a lot, just enough to keep the bike upright and balanced. Too much momentum means wider turns, and we're trying to practice slow speed tight turns. So just keep the bike moving so that it stays upright and balanced. Little jerky maneuvers on the brakes that can detract from your momentum can also cause a drop. We all know riders that can probably balance a stationary bike, but that's not what we're talking about today. We're talking about slow speed maneuvers. And to do these correctly and smoothly without wearing yourself out, you simply have to maintain a little bit of momentum. If you want to become a better rider all around, you have to practice. Pick a nice, easy, flat spot. Pavement, dirt, whatever. As your skills progress, then you can start adding in a few more challenges. Maybe next time pick a spot that's a little sandier, or pick a spot that has a few ruts running across it that you'll have to cross during your slow speed turns. Be prepared to pick up your bike, because when you're practicing these slow speed maneuvers, especially at first, you're probably going to drop it a couple of times. That's okay. We all drop our bikes. By practicing and getting good at these slow speed maneuvers, you're going to build confidence. And confidence is the most important thing that'll allow you to become a better rider.